went to ACU, majored in Christian ministry, and then eventually switched to missions, thinking that I was going to leave the country. That still hasn't happened yet, and I don't really see it happening anytime soon. I didn't know I was going to find my mission field right across town.
This kind of life I kind of live, this kind of love I kind of give.
When I was a junior in high school, I became very, very sick. Started having breathing trouble and circulation problems, and I eventually had to drop out of high school and was going to see doctors pretty much all the time. Pretty much stopped moving. I couldn't go anywhere or do anything. Eventually they found a tumor in my chest, and they were going to do some tests on it to confirm. And over the course of a weekend, that weekend I was prayed for by the elders at my church and anointed with oil, and by the next week the tumor was gone. As I got sicker and sicker, I started calling out to God, asking Him to save me from whatever was going on, and He did. And at that point, I just knew that it was my job to tell more people about Him. I think it was God calling me away, and calling me to something that was different than anything that I'd planned on or anything that seemed like a good idea. And so I started an after-school program there at the church, where 4 days a week they'd come in and I'd have a snack, and we'd tutor them in their schoolwork and help them with their homework if they needed it. And then we'd also play and give them time to learn how to use a computer, and also just spend some time kind of talking about their life and everything that was going on, and helping them kind of try to deal with the problems that they had. Freedom Fellowship is a urban outreach in the Chestnut neighborhood in Abilene. It's also it's a rundown neighborhood, and it's an outreach of Highland Church of Christ. Yeah, there was one kid in particular who started coming to the after-school program and eventually started coming to church when he was 12 years old. Back, I want to say, in March of 2007, and he began to get heavy into drugs and alcohol, as he was just getting worse and worse, and as he was dragging other people down with him. I said, we can't have this keep on happening. You can't keep bringing everybody else down. And I want you to be here, but unless you're ready to at least try to get some help, you can't come back. And so he left. He said, fine. Walked out the door. About 2 weeks later, he showed up. And one of his first questions to me was, hey, guess how long I've been clean? I said, how long? He said, 2 weeks. Apparently, he just about walked out the door and decided that he needed to get his life together. Pull from the top! I'm pulling. Pull from the top!
Slipping away, I need your real life today.
Oh! All right.
Zach is my friend, my guardian.
He came to stay with me 9 months ago, and he's been doing really well, actually. He's been clean all that time. He doesn't even smoke cigarettes, and that was something that he had never really totally quit.
If I would have not stayed with Zach, I would be out on the streets drinking and smoking, doing drugs, not going to school. The reason I can't live with my mom right now is because she's trying to get a job and go through FaithWorks and get her GED. FaithWorks is it's a class where you go and helps you see what jobs you're good at and what jobs you could probably get, and helps you get them.
It's funny. The first couple months that he was living with me, I don't think it was a real positive time for either of us. Those first couple months were hell. Whatever. spit all the time. Smokers know it. But you don't smoke anymore.
No, still
You
have
better
it.
not be. When he came to live with me, he was reading at a 3rd grade level. By the end of the summer, after 2 months, he was reading at an 8th grade level. He makes A's and B's in school. He's no longer a disciplinary problem.
We just watch TV sometimes, go eat, go to church, hang out.
Why is nothing... Hey, stop for a second, dude. Why is no button I used... Okay, there it is. Alright. I couldn't figure out why nothing was working.
What are they gonna do what's in here? Because the sink is clogged up.
I've loved my time with Romeo. He's... Like I said, every morning I kind of wake up and I'm surprised to see how pleasant he is, how responsible he's become, and how he's just started making so many good choices. I'm amazed. He's taught me a lot about persistence. You know, sticking with it tends to create some pretty amazing results.